And then I look at the rest, and if it looks good, I just put it face down on the pan. If it doesn't look good, I cut out any bad spots, because sometimes I buy the seconds. The seconds are great because they're really cheap and you're gonna roast them anyway. So, but they didn't have I didn't have a lot of seconds today, so I just bought some regular ones. All right, so I covered my whole pan with tomatoes, and I've got a couple of heads of garlic, which I'm gonna switch to a big knife because it's silly to do this with a small knife. Where's my big knife? There it is. Cut off the tops of these, which I will just use my garlic press on those top pieces and press them in. Okay, so I'm gonna put these garlic, whoops, dropped it on the floor. Put my garlic in here, got my tomatoes in here, and I'm gonna grab some olive oil. I'm gonna drizzle some olive oil on all these tomatoes. Olive oil is essential to the flavor in this, okay? Then I'm gonna coat my garlic with some olive oil also. And then the second step is to use some good quality sea salt. So I'm using some. So when you make tomato sauce, normally we make it with tomatoes out of a can, right? And they have a lot of salt in them.
Hey, it's Michelle coming to you with some kitchen inspiration. I got a bunch of roasted tomatoes that I roasted on my half sheet pan. And I got 2 heads of roasted garlic, which I did the garlic 25 minutes and the tomatoes 45. Got my 8-quart Brilliant stock pot here ready to go. And I got my Deluxe Cooking Blender, which I have some pieces of garlic in there. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this to make some homemade marinara. I love this sauce. It's so good. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my scoop and serve. I'm going to drop a couple of tomatoes in here. Sorry, I gotta over here and scoop up some tomatoes. They also have put out a lot of juice, and there was olive oil on the pan and salt. So you want to go look at the previous video if you want to see how to do all that. So I'm going to scoop some of this into here. So I've got some of the tomatoes in there. It doesn't really make a difference what order you do this in because it's all going to go in the pot together anyway. If I was making a small amount, I could actually cook it right in the cooking blender. But since this is not really a big amount, but it's not a small amount either, so it's not going to really work. So you can see you kind of just squeeze out. You know when the garlic is ready, when it's very soft. So basically I open the oven door, I stick a fork in the garlic. If it's soft, I know it's ready. Oh my gosh, I just want to eat all this garlic. It's so yummy. It smells so good. All right, I gotta wash my fingers off 1 second. All right, so I've got that in there. And I'm also gonna put in a few other ingredients. One of them being crushed red pepper. Okay, I'm gonna put in a couple of things, a couple pinches of crushed red pepper. And I need to cut some fresh basil down. Just gonna do that. And I'm not going to be too particular about this basil. If some of the stems get in, it doesn't matter, they taste fine. So I'm gonna put some of this fresh basil in. If you put it right into the blender, then you don't have to worry about trying to cut it up. It'll just get beat up in the blender. All right, and the only other thing that's gonna go in here is some tomato paste. So I am using some canned tomato paste because what happens is that, so just, you know, tomato paste. What happens is, and this is my smooth edge can opener. I'm just gonna open it. That the sauce is really, it's kind of thin, and it's already after 5 o'clock, so I don't have time for it to cook all day. It's on the thin side, and it tends to come out orange, and I like it to be more red. So I'm gonna put about half of that in there. All right, so now I'm gonna put this on my cooking blender base. Take this down so you can see it. Okay, so it's on the base. Gotta turn the switch on. You see it says lid because it won't work without the lid because you don't want to make a big mess in your kitchen. And I'm going to use the pulse function for this. I had some raw garlic in the bottom and then I added a bunch of roasted garlic. I like the combination of the two flavors. The roasted garlic is super mild, so you need some of the raw garlic. I'm going to turn my stove on here. All right, so you can see this is nice and hot. I'm going to pour this right in here. And I'm going to do that a couple more times because I still have some more tomatoes over here. And then when it's done, when I've got it all in the pot and I stir it, I'm going to taste it because a lot of times it needs more salt. So I do have my Himalayan salt here. So I may add more salt to it. I also may add some more fresh pressed garlic. So those are the two things that generally get added to the sauce. And then I'm going to serve this with some pasta and some pork and ricotta meatballs. If you want the recipe for that, scroll down through the feed because you're going to see, I make them frequently. They're really delicious. And if you have any questions, let me know. If you're looking for a specific recipe, let me know. If you like this video, share it with your friends.